What's going on, everybody? I'm Jordan. I'm a solutions architect at AWS and former cloud engineer. Last year, I completed what's known as the AWS Gold Jacket journey, earning every active AWS technical certification. The journey consists of 13 certifications, and I was able to pass 11 of the 13 just last year, becoming one of approximately 240 people globally within AWS to obtain this coveted gold jacket. So during this process, I got a lot of questions. Everything from test-taking strategies, study methods and tips, or even what my motivation for even doing this was, and whether certifications actually even matter. So in this video, I want to address the top 5 questions I was asked most during my journey and give some insight on my experience. And more broadly, this video is an introduction to what this channel is really going to be about. I know tech can feel overwhelming, noisy, and overcomplicated, and I believe most of the times it doesn't even have to be. My goal is to make tech topics more digestible, be a reliable source of truth, and help people navigate their technology journey, whether that's in cloud, certifications, or you just want to learn new tools. Whether you're new to learning tech and you're just trying to make sense of it all, or you've been in tech for a while and you're just looking to add to your bag, you're in the right place. With that being said, let's get into it. That's a bit of a multi-layered answer, so I'll answer that in parts. First, I found motivation from a somewhat unlikely source. When you onboard at a new company or even a new role, many times you have to do trainings, watch videos, just to kind of give you an introduction to the role. When I was onboarding to my role as a solutions architect, I was doing one training in particular, and the instructor mentioned in his introduction that he was one of a select few professionals in the company who had every AWS technical certification. This kind of blew my mind, and as someone who has always been competitive and chased challenges, it kind of drew me in. After that day, I really couldn't stop thinking about the goal, and I knew that that was my sign that this was something I needed to take seriously. That second motivation was that I realized the amount of knowledge that I needed to know within my role was pretty large. A little bit of background here. As a solutions architect, it's my job to serve as a technical advisor and subject matter expert for my customers regarding all things AWS. That's a huge challenge for anyone to take on and to accept. And coming from the world of cloud engineering, I realized that I had some gaps and I knew I needed to take my game to the next level in order to do well. Not saying that certifications are the end all be all by any means, because they're not. But I do believe that they have a place in knowledge building and upskilling when you're in a fast-paced industry like tech. For me, that's an easy answer. Definitely the Solutions Architect Professional exam. Man, this exam was a beast. And I'm normally not someone who really buys into the hype of things. You know, I don't really get into the practice of asking people how the exam was for them, because I think you should really formulate your own opinions. But I can honestly say, after I took this one, the few people that I did ask about this exam, they were 100% correct in saying that it was rough. Now, why did I find this the most challenging? So I'll tell you. The key thing to remember about these exams is that they do a great job of testing your knowledge of knowing when to choose a certain solution for a scenario versus other solutions, which also could technically be correct. For the more advanced exams, that means that the answer choices may all have elements about them that technically make sense, but there's a certain nuance that makes the choice incorrect. For this particular exam, because the questions are so long and drawn out, I found it difficult to distinguish key information that was needed to answer the questions correctly, so I felt like I was up against it. The other part that made it difficult was the amount of services that you needed to have some depth in. This exam expects you to really know your stuff, and if you don't, they'll know it pretty quickly. This isn't a specialized exam in the sense of it being about one domain, such as security or data or machine learning. And in my opinion, that makes it a little bit more difficult. You're expected to know things across a broad range of spectrums and really be able to understand how systems and architecture really work together. So that can kind of be a task if you're not adequately prepared. So that's a question I got almost weekly, and it's a valid one, so let's get into it. First and foremost, at the end of 2024, I set my goals for how I wanted to 2025 to look, with the goal jacket being one of those. The goal for this was to accomplish all 13 by the end of 2025, so I broke it down further into smaller parts. At the beginning of the year, I only had the Certified Cloud Practitioner and Solutions Architect Associate certifications. So it ended up being around 3 certifications per quarter that I needed to get in 2025. So to break things down even further, from week to week, I made sure to consistently wake up earlier, usually around 4:30 a.m. to have some time to study before work. And then I would study during the evenings after the workday ended. But the biggest key for me was utilizing weekends. And I know most of you all are gonna think weekends are my time to relax, recharge, all of which is true. A lot of times I think we tend to see weekends as just time to do nothing. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy that. But when it comes to going after big goals that you really haven't achieved before, uninterrupted time on weekends can be your best friend, and that was key for me. That's a great question, and with so much information out there, I think it's really important to be careful of the resources that you use. The worst thing you'd want to do is waste time and money on resources that aren't really complete or in depth enough for you to have success. I'll share the resources that I used, and you can also find them in the description below. A great source of truth for AWS exams is AWS Skill Builder. They have in-depth learning plans for every exam there, including hands-on labs, modules, and practice exams to help reinforce the theory that you're learning. Hands-on specifically is something really important once you get to the more complicated exams, because you're able to understand use cases and find different subtleties within the curriculum that can help you find success on the exam. Another one that I used regularly was Udemy, and specifically a man named Stephen Merrick. I thought his content was complete, in-depth, and he also did a great job of not giving a lot of fluff and providing the information that you really need to pass the exam. The last resource I used regularly were the practice exam questions on the Tutorials Dojo platform. They're really well done, and I also love that you could do quizzes based on particular domains in case there's certain areas that you're struggling with and you need a little bit more practice. If you can't already tell, I like to use an all-encompassing strategy when it comes to certifications, because I think different platforms allow you to approach information from different angles, which can have its advantages. So take a look at all the different resources, find what really works with you and your learning style, and then hop out there. This question is more in depth and will definitely have its own video, so be on the lookout for that. But I created a study framework for myself and also shared it at work, but it's designed to structure how I prepare. I think it's important when learning new things to understand how you learn best and then to have organization. Many times people are more than talented enough to do new things, but if you don't have organization, if you don't have a plan, and most importantly, if you don't have discipline, it's hard to find success. When it comes to tech, it's very easy to get overwhelmed, and that can lead to being disorganized, which when it comes to learning, you end up going nowhere fast. So I created a framework to organize the stages of preparation that worked for me. Like I said earlier, I'll be dropping a video dedicated to that soon, and I look forward to you all being able to see that and apply it to wherever you are in your learning and studying journey. Really appreciate you all for tuning in, and again, welcome to my channel, and get comfortable. We have a lot more to discuss in the coming days. I'm glad I was able to finally share about my journey, because you guys have really had a lot of good questions, and really happy to give you all insight. And remember, be on the lookout for my next video where I'll break down the framework that I spoke about earlier. It's called PPRS, which stands for Push, Pull, Refine, and Shine. And I'll show you exactly how I use it to study efficiently, prepare thoroughly, and show up on exam day ready to rock. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out. Peace.